bad games, we play them all here on Trial and Error. Welcome back, everybody.
Spewer!
Yeah, Spewer time. I should not have ordered seconds.
Guessing we're gonna spew on things.
Ooh, this one took them 4 months to make. 4 months? 4 months? 4 months? So, a slightly... Oh, boy. Music by Danny B. Hey, FX by Jordan Fair.
Alright.
If you have a level code that you want to play, paste it in here and press the map.
I guess just start in the top right.
Yep. Move around with WASD.
WASD this time. This time it's WASD.
If you mess up, press R to reset the level. You can pause the game.
P or escape. So we're being watched by like a scientist guy. And we're jumping and we're very adorable.
Aw.
Aw, look at that little guy. Save puke 100%.
Puke. Steps taken.
5, steps taken.
Statistical accuracy 0%. Great.
Sure.
Nailed it.
Okay, smashed it. Mind the gap. So Spike's bad. Let's not go. Oh, he's so cute. He's a little bug dude.
Oh boy.
He's like
he sure bounces.
He's a little. He's like a little grub.
This is adorable. Yeah.
He's a little grub.
Yeah, I like it.
It's gonna get gross. It's gonna get real gross.
If the game is running slowly, try pausing and disabling the background or lowering the anti-aliasing.
It is.
Cool, thanks.
Not so we're fine. We're in some goo here. We got goo here. Here on the 405, there's goo piling up as far as we can see.
Alrighty, but I
Whoa!
made it.
Oh, geez, scientist, back off a bit.
Getting a little closer.
Just back off.
Save to. Oh, I didn't take any of the puke.
You can take the puke.
I think you can take the puke. I don't know.
Can we fill up a pucometer? Was there a button to press? Like a swallow button?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
It hasn't really told us that yet.
No, it hasn't told us that, has it?
Alright, well, let's just hope the game gives us instructions.
Yep. Mental breakdowns 1. Yes, that is about correct.
I mean, sure?
Yep. If you hold the mouse button, you can move in the direction of the mouse cursor. You can also press the space bar
to eat it up. So that's the information we need for the previous level. Whee!
Oh, it was puke. Yummy!
I love that
we
immediately went savoring your vomit.
Planets aligned 4. I think that was a good day.
I love the little fake stats.
If you need to jump higher,
puke downwards as you jump. Do it! Do it, puke downwards!
Not yet.
There's a WWE wrestler called Puke, and that's what I was thinking by saying do it, do it. They're like, do it! Puke! He's gonna puke!
He's gonna puke!
His thing was that he puked. That may not have been obvious. That's a lot of vomit.
Nice! I saved none of my puke.
Cardinal sins committed 5.
Oh, that sounds also correct. Speaking of cardinal sins, did you have something? You had some weird law thing that you wanted to do.
Oh yeah! Right. So, I was learning over the last couple of days, because I'm doing constitutional law at the moment, about a legal doctrine in America that we've adapted for use here in Australia, and it has the greatest name ever. It's called the Fighting Words Doctrine.
Fighting words!
I mean, it's fighting words, but obviously you have to say it fighting words.
Obviously.
And basically, in the US they have freedom of speech guaranteed under the, I want to say, First Amendment.
Correct.
Yep. Because I'm actually learning about the different amendments, because we took a whole lot of stuff in our Australian Constitution, because the US and UK Constitutions existed when we were designing ours, and we took a little from column A and a little from column B. People call it the Washminster mutation, because a little bit of Washington, a little bit of Westminster. But basically we picked and chose what we liked from the two constitutions. We saw what worked and what didn't, or at least that's how we like to imagine it. So, without going into too much detail, because this isn't a constitutional law lecture, basically...
Go into as much detail as you can.
The Fighting Words
Page 1!
So they have freedom of speech in the US, which most people will be familiar with. 61% of Australians think that we have a Bill of Rights in this country, here in Australia. No, we do not. We do not have a Bill of Rights. A Bill of Rights is just a part of the Constitution that guarantees certain basic freedoms. In Queensland, in Victoria, they have a Bill of Rights. It is a state Bill of Rights, but it can be overridden by any federal or constitutional legislation. Yes, absolutely. So it only applies to things that do not fall within the purview of the Constitution, which is a few different things. But I'm getting off track again. So, fighting words.
Pretty classic Francis move.
So in the US, you've got freedom of speech, guaranteed, right? But it doesn't apply in a bunch of different circumstances, and one of the circumstances in which it does not apply is if you are using what are classified as fighting words.
So, hey, you want to fight?
It's more than that, though.
I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, it has to be so obviously provocative and designed to engender conflict that it can't be protected under freedom of speech.
I'm a Nazi.
Yeah, like
that?
Well, the classic example here in Australia, because we adapted it, because here we don't have freedom of speech, but we do have something that we derive from the Constitution.
Sort of have hate speech laws, but not in the same
well,
way
we do
Canada
under
does.
anti-discrimination legislation.
Yeah.
But we also have implied freedom of political communication. I just hurling all that.
I want to see if I can swim in it.
You probably can.
I want to see if that's something I'm gonna do that.
Maybe try to get
I'm
it
gonna fill
more
the pool
in,
of it,
in the pit. Then that'll do it. And just
It
let
comes out with such force, though.
Yeah, let it settle. Because I think if you let it settle, it will fill the pit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah, nailed it. And then you can just scoop it on up.
Nice.
Good stuff. So, yeah, basically the fighting words doctrine is if somebody is deliberately trying to get into a fight with you. Here in Australia, we adapted it. The example from the case that I looked at was I can't remember the name of the case. I have to look it up. But basically,
the case name doesn't really.
Basically, there was a guy comparing someone. He was a Jehovah's Witness, and he was comparing someone saying he couldn't preach in a certain area to a fascist. He was saying you're a fascist. F you. And that's the thing, is that it is a bit much. And the judge agreed. They're like, you can't call someone a fascist just because they're saying you can't preach in this area. And so it was, that's how we started applying the fighting words doctrine here in Australia. Because, and here's a little tiny legal lesson for everyone. If there is legislation in another common law country, so a country that doesn't use a legal code but has judge-made law, common law,
which is Commonwealth countries mostly?
Yeah, typically. And countries that used to be part of the British Empire or various other sort of European derivatives, but not like France and Italy. They're code countries, so they have a legal code that spells things out, and the judges have less room to maneuver, so they can't decide as much. So there isn't as much law resulting from judicial decisions as more law that's just like, this is the law from because the legislature has more power. Gotcha. But here and in America, because we took this idea from America, the judiciary is the ultimate arbiter of... Well, no. The legislature still makes the laws, but the judiciary is the ultimate arbiter of how the laws are applied.
Or if they're applied, though, like...
Yeah, if they should apply in certain areas, yeah. So the judiciary gets to decide, well, look, does this law apply? Is it, correct to use it in this area? And they get to apply how... They get to sort of say, okay, this is how the law's worded, therefore it works in this way. To really simplify things.
Right.
I forgot where I was going.
We were talking about fighting words.
Yeah, fighting words. So, basically, yeah, if somebody here... freedom of political communication does not apply to fighting words. In America, freedom of speech does not apply to fighting words. So, yeah. The same's true of all sorts of other criminal activity. And that's true, again, here in Australia when it comes to political communication, and in the US when it comes to freedom of speech. If you are doing something that is demonstrably criminal, it is not protected under freedom of speech.
Right.
So if you're like blackmailing someone, or
I'm just speaking my mind.
Yeah, or if you're assaulting someone, these are all criminal acts. And a recent example for our Australian viewers, which I imagine is many of our viewers, is so you remember the crazy guy? I always get his name wrong.
The crazy guy. Right.
I want to say Mon Huron Monis.
Mon Man Monis or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, the guy who besieged the Lint Cafe and killed 2 people.
Yeah.
3 if you want to include him. 4 if you want to include his wife that was killed previously by an acquaintance of his. Anyway, so it's not actually about that that I'm going to talk about. He sent a whole lot of letters to
soldiers,
ex-soldiers'
wives,
the wives and friends of people who had been killed in the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he basically compared the soldiers to Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
And
I recall this.
Oh, where am I going with this?
Something about fighting words. You keep getting off track.
Right. So this made it all the way to the High Court. Basically, he and his partner at the time, I believe the same one that he later had killed, had sent these letters, and they were co-defendants. And they said, well, we can send these letters because it's political communication, so it's protected.
Is it?
Yes, it is, but it's not protected because it's also criminal.
How is that political communication?
Because it...
I think that you're a monster. And,
one of the definitions of political communication is criticism of the government or its various arms, and the military is an arm of the Australian government. So it actually is political communication, but the problem is that it is also harassment.
Yes.
So, and harassment punishable by up to 2 years if it is...
which is not protected.
If it is considered to be severely obscene. Now, the High Court ultimately, he failed in the state Supreme Court, failed on appeal, made it all the way to the High Court. The High Court made a split decision on this.
Really?
It's really interesting. And it was whether for... I'm not looking to be sexist here, I'm just giving you a fact. The decision was split on gender lines. So the 3 female justices said, yes, this is offensive to send these letters. And the 3 male justices said, no, this isn't significant. This isn't offensive enough.
Wow.
It should be allowed.
That's interesting.
And now, yes, there are 7 justices, but you don't always have every justice deciding on every case because they have huge caseloads. And so they put the number that is appropriate for each case on each case. So because it was 6 and it was split, under the Judicial Review Act here in Australia, if you have a split decision, the appeal fails. So Monis failed, and he was sentenced to 2 years. I think he didn't actually serve the full 2.
No, he
This was in 2011, so it was long before the siege. But,
which was on 13? No, 14?
Yeah. So he got out of jail and then
immediately
allegedly raped all of those women and then did all those other things.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's just a monster.
Jesus.
Yeah.
This is a light episode, huh? I just wanted you to talk about the funny thing.
Well, we did.
Because it's called fighting words.
Right, that's why I was talking about it. So he's a great example of, yes, it was
I'm really
protected.
Unable to do this.
But because it's another example of something that, yes, your right is protected under freedom of political communication here in Australia, but it's then not protected because it's criminal. So fighting words are criminal.
Right.
Fighting words are criminal, and harassment is criminal. So he was harassing these war widows. So such a close split decision, 3-3. But you've got to keep in mind that the male justices knew that if they went that way, that the appeal would fail. So they might have just been...
No, but that doesn't matter. They should vote the way that they...
And they did.
Think.
Like, and they did.
If they went along...
But they had a lot of sympathy for the other side when you read the case. So basically they were like, look, we get that this is super offensive, but at the same time, it is important that, you be able to criticize the actions of the military.
But there's a difference between, criticizing the actions of the military and writing letters to war widows and saying that you're Adolf Hitler.
And that's acknowledged. He ultimately was imprisoned as a result of
that. But what I don't understand is how the judges could possibly have ruled against her, the war widows in any way. It's like, you can criticize the military, that's fine. You should be able to say, I disagree with the military action, or I don't like the way that's run, or whatever. But there's a difference between saying, hey, some soldiers are maybe aren't the greatest and all that, and saying, your
son is Hitler.
Your son is Hitler.
Yeah. No, it's awful.
Oh, your dead son, I should say.
Before we keep talking about this, can I just make clear that I think that the action was reprehensible?
Yes.
I don't want to come across as I thought it was fine and he should have been allowed to do it. No, I actually don't think so. I agree with the 3 female High Court justices. But for the sake of legal argument, I do see the perspective. I do see the other side. And every previous court had ruled against him. So it was only in the High Court. Because the High Court binds every other court. So they have to think very carefully about these sorts of things.
Yeah.
And it's tricky because you have to... Look, let me give you an example that's not as serious that I just thought of that I've now forgotten. Fuck! It was a really good...
Nice, yeah.
It was a really good counterpoint, too. It was, fuck me, it was a really good one, too. It was a similar, harassment issue. How are you finding the game, by the way? Because we haven't talked about it for about 5 minutes. Why is it so difficult?
It's really, really hard. Because the vomiting lets you stay afloat, but it doesn't really give you any sort of propulsion.
Oh shit, I think I've got it.
Okay.
You have to have it going down, not to the side.
I have been doing that.
Oh shit, okay.
I've just been doing it badly.
You nailed it that
Yeah.
time. Yeah! I helped!
You helped, buddy. Good
I
for you.
helped!
Hooah!
Straight down, straight down.
Oh, it's really
No, I
hard
went
to
to the
do.
side. No!
It's really hard to control,
No, I know,
buddy.
I'm not trying to give you shit. I'm saying that, like, you've got the right
I need
idea
the
now.
vom.
You got this.
Give me the vomit. I need it.
I don't think you got enough vom.
I can't. Oh, I can't absorb it after the fucking door is
Wait,
open.
what? That's shit.
What?
Oh, that's just a score mechanic. That's stupid.
No.
Now we're gonna have to restart.
Yeah, we have to restart.
Oh, that's fucked.
Oh god. You
Oh,
know what?
man.
No. Next time on trial and error.
Oh, that's
No.
the abortion of levels.
Wow.
That level should be aborted.